Oh yeah, you're tuning to amateurradioclub.net. This is your host, KG7POU. Amateur Radio Club is for amateurs who want to experience the spirit of ham radio club in a modern environment. Amateur Radio Club offers a 21st century Elmering experience. Make sure you guys head over and check out our website, amateurradioclub.net today.
Good morning there,
Hey, what up?
Gino.
Hi.
I just come in on the off chance, just to say hi on Skype, see how everybody was doing. Right, find out your live broadcasting. So that's fine. That's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, I was just jamming some music. I figured, hey, why not? Why not just get on here, play some music, play some videos, find some new stuff, kind of hang out a little bit. I was using it, too, to do a couple recordings for some stuff I want to do, so that'll be cool.
So, Vin Diesel, can you hear me?
Finn Dizzle. Yeah, Finn Dizzle's good people. He's a broadcaster here on VonLive.tv. The Finn Dizzle show, he kind of broadcasts between like 11, 10 at night till 4 in the morning type thing.
Okay. If you didn't hear, my name's Sean. I'm in the UK. I'm a member of the Cornish Radio Amateur Club that runs the International Marconi Day worldwide. I'm a member of the Paul Dew Club, which is the home of Mr. Marconi down there at the in the Lizard in Cornwall. Go down there, play with lots of Marconi's equipment, etc., etc. So, have a little bit of fun and work Mr. Marconi's toilet as well. So, no, it's a thing we got going. If you go down to Marconi's site down Paul Dew, it's clearly marked where the toilet is. You can probably work it out where the toilet is on the ruins. You just go over the spot and have someone take a photo, right? And it's become a thing down there that you got to do it if you visit the site. So, what else? I got AGM tonight, Gino. Our chairman, after many years, I think it's 30+ years, has decided to drop this chair, and he'll become president tonight. So. A very, very respectable man. So he'll be standing in the wings and hopefully bringing on younger members and helping out with radios and stuff like that. Very, very knowledgeable man with electronics and stuff like that. So that's going to be absolutely brilliant. We have another young member coming in. I think he's part of us on the Skype as well. I don't think you have met him. He's called
Ian?
Stephen.
Oh, Stephen? Yeah, I didn't know he was the chairman of the club there. That's crazy.
So Ian's now secretary, right? And he's one of the.
Ian is N6UY, or he only has a 4-letter. What is it?
Pardon again, Gino?
I think he only has a 4-letter call sign, doesn't he? A N6 something.
M0 India for Fox.
Yeah, that's right.
Right, or at the moment for our NOB, which if you've got a radio there, Mr. Dizzle, it'll be MK0 India for Fox because we got the NOB, the license for 1 year to use the K for Kerno, which is Cornish, right? Because we've become a minority like Wales, Scotland, and Ireland. So we're not actually a English call sign. We have our own call sign for Cornwall. So hopefully December they might say, well, you can keep it. And it's like, yes. That would be very nice to have our own call sign because most areas in the States, you've got your own designated like call signs for your districts. Am I correct in saying that?
They're not so restrictive. I mean, you could be over in Washington, D.C. and still have a Washington call sign. So we don't have to put something that would indicate that we're really from Washington there. So, but I think that's how they are still assigned. But that doesn't mean that that's restricted when we travel around in the States once we have the call sign currently.
Well, I went to London Sunday night and come back yesterday morning, and it was so hard up there not to do my 2K0 because outside the county I have to have 2E0. And when I was on the Thames, it's like, I nearly thought about transmitting on the radio because it's a tidal waterway, not a lake or anything. My license doesn't cover me to transmit as maritime mobile. So, Yeah,
Oh, well, we are restricted on maritime frequencies, though. I mean, is it frequency as well as location?
um, no, frequency's okay. Location, if you're on a tidal river anywhere in the UK, right? With my license, which is the um, intermediate, the second group of licensing, um, I cannot do my maritime mobile. I cannot be 2K0 Charlie Uniform Hotel which is maritime mobile. Oh, and you'll have some fun over it. If you get a Scotsman in the channel, it'd be absolutely brilliant because we have call signs up here. It's like MM2EMM and then maritime mobile because they're in Scotland. So you have MM2EM MMMM. Right, it's very confusing.
And then in Scottish, you have to be a translator, so you have to have a few beers to translate, right?
Hey guys, I think we found our topic for the day. Let's talk about some differences between the UK ham radio versus United States. And it's kind of weird that there's differences, and because we have the ARL here, Sean, and you guys have the what is that over there? The UA, what is it? The cannot remember it off the top of my head. You guys hear me okay?
What's the big club for the UK to be part of a member, their society?
Well, you got the RSGB.
Yeah, okay.
That's one of the biggest groups, like the RSGB. And then there's like the Ofcom, that's the overseers of the whole lot, right? Which is the licensing for radio.
Okay, so the Ofcom's like the FCC, and then the RSGB's like our ARRL then.
Yeah,
Okay.
very similar.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm at the rsgb.org website right now checking it out, and yeah, pretty neat. Like I said, I've noticed a lot of stuff in the UK, like your guys' your ham conventions are a lot more formal in a sense, and the way people dress than they are here. People are here kind of like flip-flops and shorts sometimes.
We come as slobs. We don't care.
Oh, okay. I guess the pictures they post portray something different.
But in the UK, you're limited on your power wattage, right? As well as you have, say, for the lowest license step, you have probably more frequency access than the US technician has, I'd imagine.
Well, we start off. Sorry, I'm going to sort the dogs out a minute, and my little girl wanted to take her bike out the front, so it's going to go all the way down the steps. So I'll do this quickly. We start off with the foundation, which is 10 watts, and then we do the intermediate, which is 50. And once you do your main license, the advanced, you do 400 watts. Through the bands, you get more bands as when you do the advanced, you'll be able to do up in the gigahertz and do satellite and stuff like that. Comms. There is some I can do. I can't do 60 meters. I don't think so with mine at the moment. I think I have to do my advanced. 1 second, guys. I will be back.
Okay, Sean, we'll have you back here then. Okay, yes, Sean has returned, and yes, I see you said 10 watts, 50 watts, and 400 watts. I think for us, it's 1,500 watts out the gate, man. 1,500.
Yeah. Well, I get that over there. I really do get that over there. It's like, but over here, I think some of us are quite happy with 150 because anything above it's hard to get another S point on the meter, if you know what I mean.
Well, that does make sense because, to get 6 dBs of gain after 100 watts, I think that is over 1,000, or 3 dB actually is 1,000 watts. So it's the rate of return. But also some of the bands were also limited to how much power. Like I know there's one band that's 200 watts, as well as some of them are channelized. We can't just be anywhere in that band. We have to be at certain points. I believe the 54 megahertz, isn't that 6 meters? I don't work 6 meters yet because I don't have a radio that has that capability.
What I see, and lots of people see it over here, right, is antennas. All right, as long as you got 10 watts going into that antenna, your antenna could be absolutely enormous and loads of dB gain on it, and they can't stop you from having all that extra dB gain, not unless it's like the size of a small county. But I got a 12 dB gain Yagi here, I can put 10 watts into that, and it increases it loads. If anybody is listening, the radio, yeah, okay, you don't really. It's a subject. Antennas are the most important subject, not particularly the radio. You could buy a radio with all the bells and whistles and not get nothing. It's
Absolutely.
It's all down to it.
The antenna is probably your next major purchase after the HF rig or whatever rig.
I would differ against that.
Well, I meant in the sense to make a good antenna. You can do it homebrew and do it cheaply, which is great.
Yeah.
But some people don't have the confidence or the knowledge to do that immediately, so they'll pay. If it's some of the MFJs, I am not been that impressed with their quality control.
Yeah.
The discone is horrible. It is a horribly made discone, and it should have been a little more durable. I mean, for the MFJ.
MFJ, yeah.
It's. And no, I'm not trying to knock MFJ. It's just that discone is pretty shoddy.
Yeah. It's like there has been a few problems with them. You're bound to get the odd thing that'll have a problem with it anyway. We had an MFJ antenna analyzer. I shall say it correctly for the screen because we have another way of saying that. But we had a fault with one. It was like only a small fault, right? And they said, "Oh, you're going to have to buy another one." But Ian, who's normally in the group, he's got it for £25, right? And it's only a small fix. There's hardly much inside of it, to be honest, right? So it's not even surface mount stuff on some of the later ones, because it's probably because of the RF problems that sometimes these analyzers will pick up, and he's having that. So that'll be shared between him and me for doing antennas. But if you've got to put an antenna up, I think you've got to get an antenna analyzer as well. If you're going to set up for a quite a big area, get one, spend your money on that, right? Get your aerial sorted out, then work out what radios you're going to have, and 7300, the 450D, anything like that for a starter is it. Well, once you've got 7300, it's no problem. But if you're going to do digital, you do the 450D. It's absolutely gorgeous from Yaesu. But there's a bit of advertising for them. What else have we got on about? Any more questions about working frequencies or anything like that? There, Gino, for the English versus UK.
Yeah, well, I find that if you can homebrew with ladder line a 80-meter doublet and put it in sloping towards where you need the most gain, it is great if you've got a antenna tuner like was given to me, fortunately, a differential T tuner, and that's a $300 legal limit tuner here in the States, and I can at least get it to match anywhere in all the bands. Ladder line doesn't really care about SWR for loss, unlike coaxial, and it performs pretty well. I would love to have more antennas up, but right now that's doing me pretty good.
There's lots of people that have put up G5s and stuff like that, and they spread the legs out straight, and it's like, you put the analyzer on that, and it's way out on ohmage, or they have it too much of the legs too close together, close to the feeder, and they just don't realize how the ohmage changes in the antenna. There's lots of people that don't know, and it's like there's plenty of clubs around there. It's like our club. If someone rang us up and go, look, can we borrow the analyzer? No, well, we can't borrow it. We'll come up and analyze your antennas for you and set them up. That's fine. And say, well, remember the club. Would you like to join the club and go further on from that? And they'll gain some skills from our older members. So that's quite good. So
yeah. What is the nice advantage of having a manual antenna tuner is a lot of the auto tuners can only handle probably an SWR up to 3 for most applications, whereas like the tuner I have can handle more. And yes, SWR in one sense is bad when it's too high, but you can make a doublet is basically a 80-meter dipole that isn't resonant, and so you have some parts where you just are trying to match the load so you get the most transmitted out as well as received for those that are listening here. And it's relatively inexpensive, and if you've got the land to do it, it can pretty much work most of the bands well. Now imagine if I had resonant antennas for the bands that I'm working and I did a sloper, I might actually get a little more gain. That would be another experiment down the line to play with. I like doing antenna stuff. I like researching about antennas. I'm just learning the skills to build the things, because I was not a mechanically inclined person. I would love to have some other hams that can just show me those tricks, because I just don't have that knowledge. I have a lot of intellect knowledge, but when it comes to putting things together, it's like I need to be shown.
Yeah. Well, I'm like you. I am. But I've got mechanical experience behind anybody starting out. It's like a long wire is fine. I use manual tuners myself with a balun in there. I'm not over keen on auto ATUs. I think as a starter, if you're starting out and you got a set with the ATU in it, yeah, it's fine. But over here, they encourage you more or less to start with the basic stuff and learn how to tune an antenna by ear. Right, with a manual tuner like I've got, I don't even have to key the microphone to actually tune the antenna. I could just sit down there and listen and twiddle away on the matcher and tune the aerial in without causing any interference and getting it absolutely correct first time. So, sorry about the background noise.
The cool thing is, I was talking to my Elmer who homebrewed his own antenna tuner, and we went on eBay to look at, here in the States, how much it would be in parts to make a full 1,000-watt capable antenna tuner, and we figured we could probably do it easily under $100, with just sweat equity and doing it cheaply. Now, is it pretty at first? No, but if you look inside of these MFJs for the ones that are selling for about 100 new, and you look at what they are, the circuit is very simple in concept. You just gotta, so you could actually make one that is better than theirs homebrew, and it would work awesomely.
Yeah, it's like which one would you build? It's like you can have two equal capacitors, or one not equal with a roller with a balun in it.
Well, right. You would probably put a balun in it anyway, because if you're going to use a manual tuner, you want to have the option for ladder line. Yeah. You don't want just coaxial only, because
I'm just saying so that people, anybody listening, say there is the option. Why the balun's in there, etc. Like, yeah.
Yeah. The Pi network, or a differential tuner, which is basically the difference on the inductor and one capacitor. The other one is a little more wiggle worm, because you have basically two capacitors you're adjusting and one inductor that you probably are moving the taps to vary the inductance in the circuit.
That's what I've got here.
But if you look at how it's made,
there's not much to it.
A thrifty ham with the proper Elmers that might know a little more on how to build things, you could make yourself a fully functional, for your lifetime type of tuner, just homebrew. It's that simple.
Yeah,
now,
you
don't have yet your.
You can make a MFJ. You can make a MFJ 16010. The complete schematics and the operating instructions are online at the MFJ website, and that's the MFJ 16010. It's only if you're running 100 watts or less. You know what I mean? But
yeah, well,
it's got a
the ones that we're talking about could be 1,000 watts.
Yeah, it's got a 500 PF to 2,000 V, I think, airspace variable capacitor in it. It's very nice though, and it's a cheaper kit to make if you want. You know, and they also MFJ does sell their tuners in kits now, so that's kind of cool if you want to just buy the kit for like
Oh, really?
100.
They're selling them as
Yeah,
kits. That's
I
a new
saw.
thing.
Yeah.
I saw MFJ Versatuner V2 for like $120 for the kit. You know what I mean? 300 watts, I think, for the tuner. So I mean, heck, man, if you want to make the kit, you can find that and then just order the stuff. It comes and you can do all the soldering and work yourself. Right? That's another option.
Yeah.
Or just sort
eBay.
of components yourself, yeah.
You could
Yeah, my
find a
friend-
broken one on eBay and just rebuild it
Yeah.
because the parts are so readable for all the stuff. You could just get a cheap
Yeah.
tuner on eBay that's all for parts, cool, but you want the case and the knobs and you just order the rest of the stuff. That's the
What's
lick.
also cool is some of those older antenna tuners that are like the Drake and other things, they still work. They're just older.
Yeah, well,
You know, they can be
they got no move, so much
cleaned up.
moving parts, haven't they? It's just general clean through every so often if you've got air vents on them, and that's it. With the modern stuff, they're going to be tapping away for a bit. I don't know what a shelf life of an MFJ one is if it's constantly used. I suppose it's got to play up at some point, electronically wise.
Yeah, it's like the young man that Elmer, that just got his technician license. He got himself an ICOM 7300, but he doesn't yet have like a manual tuner. And I talked with my Elmer and it says, you know, if we could figure this out, you know, can you make a cutting edge for your lifetime type antenna tuner to cover this, a manual tuner? And he says, of course. And it was like, oh, this sounds like a fun project to look in and see what the parts are and how to do it. You know, as I don't know, I get a kind of little bit of a pride. You know, I don't go up the mountains like Mount Everest, but to make myself a antenna tuner would be a pretty good challenge for me to do. Right?
Why are you showing that off? I got a little mission thing that quite stunned me yesterday. My when we were away, the dog chewed into a live cable, right, and bit
Oh,
the
boy.
cable up quite badly. And it's like, why is the dog still alive? Like, if we done that, you know, what?
Was it a power cord?
Yeah, it's to our little Henry Hoover, and it's like, I look, hey, yeah, and it's like, why did it's bitten to the core, right? Literally bitten to the core. It's like, why did that dog not die? Strange.
Here it is, guys. This is the MFJ 941EK Versatuner 2 antenna tuner kit. You can pick it up over here at DX Engineering. It's pretty cool. I recommend getting it if you want to build your own tuner. It's 300 watts, $129.
$130. Wow.
What I like about this is you can guarantee that it's solidly done. That's what I like about that.
Yeah, once again, don't forget to head over to DX Engineering, dxengineering.com. You can pick this up there today. We appreciate everything DX Engineering does for us all out here in the community. And then, once again, that's the MFJ 941EK Versatuner 2 antenna tuner kit. So definitely check it out if you want to do a cool little homebrew.
And DX Engineering has been very, very good customer service. So, yeah, they're awesome guys. Yeah.
What I will say is, right, try and find someone that, or do some courses, or even look up some stuff on how to solder first before you do it if you're not experienced soldering.
Oh, absolutely.
Like getting the job has to be the same heat as the you know, to get that solder to get into flux.
Oh, the inductor tap.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's...
The cool thing, my Elmer has shown me how it's that you do those taps and you pinch them when you're making the thing. So, but you can also get on eBay the big nice coils too. So they're pre-done. But yeah, that is good for a kit. I mean, it's kind of reminds me of what the old Heathkit type of mindset would be. We really need that because I don't know. I think it's sense of pride if you kind of get in ham and you like building things to do something like that. That just sounds priceless.
Yeah.
No,
to me.
just a minute ago, you were talking about things that don't have to look pretty, right? When you built them as well, didn't you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll sort out an antenna I just recently built. It's a loop antenna
Very
on
cool.
a. I took the main element of a 2-meter quad, right? So I'll and stuck a couple capacitors on it and a small little matcher on it, right? And it seemed to work fine. So in a minute I'll come live video if you don't mind there, Gino.
Yeah, let me make
How
this.
tight do you find that as to tune it? Is it very, you don't get very much bandwidth, but you get selectivity, don't you, on that antenna?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
It's wonderful for that.
But in the end, I want to get 21 or 22 mil copper pipe and basically do a 4-meter or a 6-meter a loop that'll do 40 and maybe 80 quite happily. And it'll take a bit of time to get the loop absolutely perfect. But you know, oh, Gino's already set me up. I haven't got the antenna. While the dogs are growling at me. 2K0 Charlie Uniform Hotel. I'm trying to get Ian in the conversation as well, by the way.
Yeah, another thing that you might want to experiment is make another loop that's electro connected to that antenna, and it might broaden the width if you want. When you've got that tuned to the frequency you want to work, it might broaden it a bit so you have a little bit of play. But if you needed a little more room to go from one part of the band to the other in that area, it might widen that a little bit.
Let's see if we can get a picture up here a minute. There's enough light
There
there.
we go. Yeah, that'd be a fun project, Chris. I would love. Here, let me switch cameras here for you to screen 7. There we go, guys. There's Sean, 2K0 CUH, all the way from. It's not CUH. What's the call sign again, Sean?
CUH, Gino.
Okay, I got it right. And there's a loop he made. Go ahead and tell us about it, buddy. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, well, it's just basically bits and pieces. The actual main loop is made up of a 2-meter quad that I had that someone gave me for just messing around with. A 3-sucker stand and a dual gang capacitor. I'm holding this by hand, and what's keeping it? It's wandering off. And the main bit in the centre that's holding it all together is my son's ex archery thing he had, and the dog chewed the end, so it was no good. So I thought, well, I'll use that. But there is a bit of perspex on it as well behind the capacitor, and there's enough room for me to put a little motor in there. Come on, screen catch up. So I can remotely tune it. But this is an experiment until I
Hello.
get things up and running.
Morning.
Just a project, I might take it out and it receives 40 meter perfectly fine, up to 2 meters. So I might just use it as for receiving at the moment. Like
Very
so, it's okay. You only got finished the other day, but there's lots and lots to do on it. And, I've never done a loop before in my life, but it's worth having a go at it. The only thing is, normally people put the capacitor right at the top. I messed up a little bit, so the capacitor's down the bottom and the matcher's at the top. So, that's the only difference. It's just slapped together at the moment, and I'll improve it as I go along. And hopefully, I've got a club meeting tonight, so maybe there'll be an analyzer there, and I can see what frequencies it will be resonant at. See if I could do anything else to it. All good fun. That's what radio's about. Just trying new things.
Very true.
Out to scrap. Which that is. So, have a go. Don't be afraid to have a go. One thing I will say about antennas, if you're doing anything like long wires, just make sure you look up the long wire tables, because there are certain frequencies there's certain lengths of long wire that do not work at all, and it's really strange. It may be a couple inches different, and the antenna will not work at all on any band. right? But either side of it, a couple of inches, it might do everything. You know, it's just hooking these things up, and it's like the wire I got in my back garden. It works perfectly fine on all the bands, but unfortunately, I do not get any reception here. I don't know why I'm waving my hands around or anything like that, but I'm not on camera. Isn't that funny?
Well, no, you mean with the loop antenna?
What do you mean?
You're
Say
not
again?
getting reception with the loop antenna?
Well, I won't do in my house because my house is in a dead area.
Okay,
Don't,
so
don't,
even when you turn it to 9 perpendicular to where it is, and it's still you're still not getting anything. The reason being is the nature of a loop antenna is that you can, by how it's even positioned, you can minimize noise sources that you don't like to hear, even in the band that you're listening to,
oh yeah.
by where it's angled. Um, uh,
What
but
I want to use it for, if it were tuned, when I do the big one, will be like JT65 and stuff like that. All the data, even though that's the only mode I do use is data because it's the only thing I can get here, except for the Italians with their small wattage allocation, which is quite
we'll be
large.
right back.
You guys can learn a little bit about what
It's kind of a very
JT65
unusual,
is. I am borrowing
this is,
another YouTuber's video here, guys, just so you know this
JT65.
isn't my video or the ARC video at all,
JT65
and it's over from the official
is a special
SWL channel's
digital mode.
video, so enjoy.
It's extremely powerful in the fact that even a very, very low signal in the noise can be decoded by the software. The piece of software I'm using to decode is JT65HF, which is this little piece of software. It's available at version 1.0.9.3. And this is what it looks like. Basically, JT65 is a mode where people transmit for 48 seconds. And then there's a 12-second pause. And basically, it's 13 characters only per transmission. So you've got these little contacts here. And you see all these amateur radio stations that actually make the contact. So here you see the receive and progression. And once this is done, and it's going to be fully progressed, which is about 48 seconds, you'll see here a new message that's going to show up above this one. You see the green line means that the station is calling CQ. And here we go, DL2, DXD. K7RE. So the 12-second, actually multiple stations here. Actually what happens is every 12-second of silence lets the program decode the message and display it here. So like I said, it's 13 characters. You cannot say more than 13 characters long every transmission. It's not a lot, but it's enough to, for example, send a CQ or send IDs of contacts between stations. It sounds like this. And here we've got a CQ from ON5UN, so which is a European station. So this is a special mode. It's really a weird little mode, but like I said, it's one of those modes where even if you have a high noise level and the sound is really buried deep in the noise, it still decodes. It's really an amazing little mode for that. And another cool thing about JT65 is that there's it's not an official rule, but there's a kind of rule that all stations using JT65 are at maximum 5 watts of transmission power. That's not a lot. 5 watts, that's it. That's the maximum allowed. So it's pretty cool because you know that, for example, this European station was using probably 5 watts or less to transmit from Europe to North America, and it still went through, which was pretty amazing. And here you see this one called CQ. Then there's a station and a CQ here. They're trying to make contact. It's pretty cool. It's one of those modes where it's really special. One of the things that you really need if you want to decode this mode, first of all, I think this piece of software, JT65HF, is the best piece of software to decode it. But there's a little catch. Your clock, the time on your clock needs to be extremely accurate. Less than 1 second's difference with UTC. And even better than 0.5 seconds is even better. So you really got to make sure your clock on your computer is precise. If the clock is off more than 2 seconds, you won't be able to decode any of those messages. So it's really special mode for that. So you got to make sure your clock's right. Actually, on many of the websites that talk about JT65, they're mentioning that to really have an accurate clock, they suggest that you install some software that really gonna make the clock extremely accurate. In my case, I didn't install any software. I just manually made sure that the clock was precisely on the dot. And so as soon as your clock is okay and that your program's installed, it's pretty easy. You hook up the audio to your computer, and it just does the work on its own. You got nothing to adjust, and you just leave the program alone. But keep in mind, if you can't decode any of these messages, you really need to put your clock as precisely as possible with UTC. What I did to actually put it accurate is I put WWV time signal on, and I actually manually put the clock precisely on my computer with the audio of WWV so that it matches perfectly. So I'm at really almost perfect time of UTC here. So this is the JT65 mode, and one of those.
All right, guys, there was a JT65. You guys check it out a little bit and see what it's about. Don't forget that was the official SWL channel on YouTube. If you guys want to learn more about it, head over there. They have some good videos on it, and I actually like some of the stuff they do over there, so it's pretty cool. What's up, Finn Dizzle? Hope you're here with us. Andy Joe _, welcome to the show. Shawnee, we'll be calling back here on Skype in a second. Give me a second, buddy. I'll get you guys back on here. Who shall answer the call? Who shall answer? What were you saying about JT65 there? Yeah, it'll get an echo from me.
Yeah, I just turned it off. Basically, if your clock's out, like he said, you cannot do much with it. The clock is the most important thing on the software, but once you got your clock spot on, the amount of contacts you get on it is incredible on 40 and 20 meters, and sometimes they bang away on 80 meters quite happily. If you can't normally receive anything at all, I guarantee you got to receive a JT65. I've got nothing on my needle here, no noise at all, and I'm still picking it up quite happily and transmitting and making contacts. It's very, very simple. Most of the time you'll have a little box on the right hand side, and it's like press it and then enable your TX, and it'll do it all automatically, all for you, right? And someone will call back to you, press on them, right? And then you go down to the next box, which is your single report, and etc until you get to a 73, and that's done. But you're just surprised at what contacts around the world you get that you can't do with voice. It's like Morse, but digital Morse. Just amazing what range you get out of it. And I think it's a good thing to start off if you're starting digital really from the beginning.
Yeah, I like it. I like to listen to it when I have it up and stuff. Once I get my the flagpole antenna installed out here, then I'll be back on the air on HF hopefully here before the end of the summertime. Right now I'm limited to DMR and D-Star, but I prefer D-Star over anything. I do use that daily, and I do love me some D-Star. Chris, you're back out there with us, my friend?
I'm putting this 13 amp plug on, and I've lost my trimmers. Just put my well, it's not Sky. It's not officially Sky. It's another box. I got a meter dish out in my garden that's motorized. So I normally pick up things around the world on that, as well as TV and satellite. So you know, I could use it for listening for the radio ham stuff, but I can't transmit my license details. But hopefully this year or next year I'll get my full license, then I'll be able to do it. But the meter dish is absolutely brilliant for messing around with radio as well. But hopefully I'll be able to do some of the satellite stuff at some point. So.
Pretty much going to wrap up the show here, guys, for the day. We'll keep it live. We'll have music going like we were earlier and stuff, but I'm going to stop the broadcast so I can capture the live recording of it. And once again, we appreciate everybody heading out here to amateurradioclub.net, the world's only 24-hour-a-day Elmering program. You guys can head over to amateurradioclub.net. You can check us out there. You can our website, our YouTube link is there as well. You also have a TeamSpeak server you can join, and that's up top there. The TeamSpeak server is amateurradioclub.typefrag.com. Just use that for the port, and you guys can join up. Like I said, we're live. We come to you live from vonlive.tv /amateur_radio_club, and you can also watch us at amateurradioclub.net /stream, and you're there. So anyway, guys, this is KG7POU. Thanks to Chris and Sean for coming out. I really appreciate you guys. Chris is AF7LT, and Sean is 2K0CUH. And we appreciate you guys again for heading out here to another show at amateurradioclub.net. And 73 to y'all.